Hey guys, welcome back. It's Dawn Moret, and I was just in a cheap Mexican food place getting a bean burrito because I am fucking broke right now and I was hungry. And I need calories in order to do this cleaning stuff that I need to do. Anyway, shut up, Dawn. Anyway, the point here, okay, so there was a woman in there, or girl, I should say, who's native, and she was drunk off her ass, and she had like 20 cents, and she was begging for money. And I bought her some food, and then I got to talking to her because she said she was needed food for her and her baby. So she's 3 months and 3 weeks pregnant, almost 4 months pregnant, and she had 20 cents to her name, and she had a bunch of beers in her bag, and she reeked of alcohol. And I said, babe, if you gotta quit drinking because your baby's gonna have fetal alcohol syndrome if it does not already. And she said, I know, everything's okay. I went to the hospital yesterday, and I was like, well, you either need to get an abortion. I think it might be too late for an abortion. 3 months, 3 weeks. That's like 15 weeks. No. 15 weeks. You can still get one. You can get one. You can get one until like 18, 19 weeks. Well, anyway, I said the pressure's on. You either need to get to detox, or you need to get an abortion. One or the other, because you're going to be having a retarded baby. I'm not just like Down syndrome retarded, like super retarded. Fetal alcohol syndrome is not anything you want to give your kids. You don't want to have kids with that. Better to have no kids than that. And she said, well, I said she was pretty out of it. I said, what about this detox and that detox? And she said, well, they fucked me over, and they fucked me over. And she's actively drunk, reeking of alcohol. And I was like, look, I can tell you what happened to me. Me using opiates while pregnant. I was like, you're going to have the baby, and then the baby's going to be super fucked up. And then the state's going to take the baby, and then the taxpayers are going to pay like $800,000 to keep the baby alive for God only knows how long, when this whole thing is going to be avoided. Either get clean, get off of alcohol, or get yourself a fucking abortion. Well, she was very squeamish about the abortion thing. No, I don't want an abortion. Well, I was like, fuck, because even like hardcore heroin use, right, does not do one iota of the brain damage that alcohol does. Alcohol has a specific syndrome, fetal alcohol syndrome, which she'd be better off doing opiates while pregnant, honestly. Not necessarily meth, although possibly meth. Alcohol is one of the most harmful things you can do while pregnant. In excess, and excess is like more than one glass of wine every few days or something like that. I'm not exactly sure on that. If I ever had another baby, I would not be drinking at all. I don't really drink at all anyway. But so we've got this person who is completely disempowered, and she wants to keep her baby, and she's drunk as fuck, and she's got a bag full of beer and no money, wandering around homeless. And I'm like, how the fuck did this happen? Why is this the state of, because this is America right here. This is America, and this is Arizona. Why is this happening? And I'm thinking about, is it really helpful when the way that we teach history, is that helpful? And the way that we subsidize people's living, is that helpful? Is the welfare state helpful for anyone? So you can get land if you're native, and you can get land, you can get food stamps, you can get monthly checks from the casinos, and they're trying to build people up. But it's a failed sort of experiment. Unless the community's really, 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 tight knit and they're doing positive things with that money. If you just give people a check that are sad and disenfranchised, what's going on in a lot of places is basically people are in their house with a huge big screen TV and cable. This is on the reservations, I'm saying. Big screen TV, they're doing drugs, they're massively addicted to alcohol, they're getting massively overweight on cheap food, they get a government check every month, they drink themselves half to death, and on the dry areas, they're drinking mouthwash, they're drinking cologne, all sorts of fucked up shit, hairspray that we would never ever think of drinking, but because they made it a dry area, people are drinking all sorts of fucked up shit. And so, we're basically paying for it. Taxpayers are paying for it. I shouldn't say we. Y'all are paying for it. So and then after the money runs out, they get sick and go to the detox place that's on the reservation. This is so common And there's so much child molestation and incest that goes on while people are drinking. Sometimes while people are not drinking. A lot of these areas have really, really high teen pregnancy and child pregnancy rates. And it's like, I'm not even sure that this is what, the idea of like the welfare state is good for anybody, right? At least not in 2016, 2017. Okay, we've got 7 billion people, 7 billion people plus 7 plus billion people, and can we afford to have a welfare state at all? At all? Is there any foundation for having a welfare state? Giving moms money because they have kids, giving moms food stamps because they've got a bunch of kids, giving people, WIC is one thing. That's you get a fucking bag of beans. You get a bag of beans, a $25 certificate. Fuck, that's not anything, hardly. But the idea that we're gonna cut people checks because in some, far away hundreds of years we fucked them over, and we won. We won, or they won. See, they won. The Native Americans and the cowboys from various European countries were fighting for 400 years. 400 years. All these native tribes gave a great fight. And the state, the state militias and the city, the groups of Europeans gave a great fight. At the end of it, at 400 years, yeah, I know there's tragedies involved. Tragedies and long walks, that are horrible and bad food. The whole fry bread thing comes from fucking flour grease that we gave people. And I understand there's a negative history to it. But the way we teach it is trying to make everyone docile. So in school, we teach it like, okay, well, the white people were really bad and they did this. And the Native people tried, but they kind of died out, but then they went to reservations. So everybody's disenfranchised. Everybody's disenfranchised. The European kids are like, oh shit, my relatives were really fucked up. And the Native kids are like, oh shit, my relatives lost and are pathetic. Why don't we teach kids, look, we had tribal peoples from different areas. Tribes came over from other places. Some were lighter skinned than others. Some had fucking guns, some had blankets, some had other diseases. We fought for 400 years. 400 years, amazing fights, amazing fucking colossal battles, amazing dignity, amazing face paint, amazing fucking noise and instruments and weapons and fucking all sorts of good stuff. Amazing. And at the end of all that, the tribes of Europeans eventually won and gave some not great but okay land to the Native Americans. Why can't we just say it like that? So then, the Europeans are like, well, I guess we won. That's cool, we're winners. And the Native people are like, well, we fought for 400 years, and we might have lost for a while, but like Japan, we will never forget, and we'll rise up again. Is it Japan or China? One of those. It's either Japan or China. I think it's Japan. We'll say we're done. We'll roll over, but we're never really done. And getting that spirit of fight back in the Native people, right? All Native people, not just just the fight back in us. We need the fight back in us. The idea that we're all just gonna, all 8 billion of us can just be docile and lay around and Facebook and use our food stamps and breed, whether we're on drugs or whether we're drinking, whatever, because the government will sort it out. And we'll just take vaccines because the doctor said so. Basically, I'm going to live off the government, and I'm going to go to the doctor. That's part of, the government pays for me to go to the doctor, and the government pays for me to shop at the grocery store, and I'm going to take no responsibility for my own health, no responsibility for my own food gathering. Just a complete lackadaisical sort of, well, the government's going to do it for me. Here's where the problem with that is. Take it from somebody who's really, really, really lazy. I'm really, really, really lazy. And every year that goes by, the goal is to do less, to be responsible for less, to be more lazy, okay? If you take someone who's spoon-fed all this stuff, and then you try to yank away their benefits, and yank away this, and get them to work, they're gonna blow a gasket, because human beings are designed to do less work every year, not more. And this is another reason why, if Alex Jones is correct, and if we are making some child labor laws that make it so that children are not able to go gather eggs on farms in the morning, or at any time not able to mow the lawn because it's child labor, these kids are going to be lazy, they're going to be inside, they're going to be playing video games, and they're not going to be able to then, at 18, some magic number, jump up and take over the farm. They're going to be docile, fat, dumb little fucks when it comes to tending the farm. Which is that what the government wants? Or is that what the current people want? You know, we've got to rise up in some sort of way and get self-sufficient, you know, in a real way. Self-sufficient food and self-sufficient sovereignty with healthcare. And God, we got to do it quick, because as a human race, we're headed toward idiocracy. We're headed toward a bunch of people that sit on couches and have like couch toilets, and then order fast food and just mountains of garbage, and everyone's just breeding and people, you know, it's a fucking disaster with a bunch of IQs that are like 80, you know, like that's where we're headed. So we've got to get rid of the welfare state and phase it out, I guess, in phases. We've got to phase out the welfare state. Absolutely. We can't have this welfare state anymore. Not for illegal immigrants, not for legal immigrants, and not for people that have been displaced. We say, okay, well, this tribe won and this tribe lost. Now everybody get to work. This tribe won, this tribe lost, and everybody needs to get to work. That's what we need to say. None of this like, well, you lost the battle, so we feel bad, so we're going to pay for you to live for the rest of your life. It's not good.